Okay, guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is going to be an awesome call. We've got Koray coming. He's going to get some absolute value bombs to do with selling, to do with transparent selling. I've known Koray for a while, and his energy is off the charts, but also the value he gives is incredible as well. So, for those of you who are jumping on in 2 days' time, I'm going to be doing, and that's for the group coaching calls, I'm going to be doing a bit of a presentation because I'm getting a lot of questions for people who know I'm doing a lot of meditation. I'm doing a lot of ancient wisdom study and combining ancient wisdom with modern day business and how it can all be combined. I've actually just summed up the 5 key principles that I keep coming across, whether I'm studying Buddhism or Taoism or all ancient texts, and how it can sort of all come together to help with modern day business. There's really 5 themes that consistently start to cycle through. And so I'm noticing the patterns. So I'm going to combine all of those. I'm going to do a bit of a presentation. That's on the group coaching call. That's in two days, same time as this call in 2 days. That'll be one to join. I'm looking forward to sharing that. Also, those of you who are jumping on the, I'm not sure what to call it, but I started a Patreon account for a week so we can all contribute to some worthy causes around the world as a group. And a lot of you jumped into that. So I actually have chosen the three worthy causes we're going to be contributing towards and the impacts we can make. So I'll share with you, I'll share my screen, I'll share the ones I've selected. And those who have jumped on the Patreon to do this as well, I'll have you guys select some of the worthy causes as well that you want to contribute to in the upcoming ones. So this is the 3, hopefully you can see my screen. These are the 3 we're going to be contributing towards. So I've chosen one in health, one in education, and one in nutrition and food. So we're going to be creating huge amounts of impacts for children in Kenya with health boosting treatment. So this is one of them. Educating children in India, and also nourishing children in Malawi. So those are the 3 that we're going to be contributing towards. I'm excited about it, to see what we can create together and to see what sort of things. I know a lot of you have already jumped on the Patreon account, and we're going to create some really, really cool impacts. And a lot of you are going to. It's a buzz. It's cool. It's really awesome how you guys are willing to do that. So those who don't have the link, this is the Patreon account that I started. Oh, it's all to me. 1 second. This here is the Patreon account. And so not only can we combine to create some awesome impacts around the world, but I'll also be adding extra content for people who are on there. So that'll be like behind the scenes stuff. It'll be additional content for videos. And you can actually grab a link that displays the impacts we've already made. So we've created like 3,000 to 5,000 impacts and 8,000 impacts all up in terms of the collaborative group. And so I can actually share with you a link where you can display this for your audience and show the kinds of impacts that we've made and that you've made as a business owner as well. So I'm excited about that. So that's the Patreon account if you guys want to jump on and have a look at the options. That's all from me. I'm keen to invite Koray onto as a panelist, and we can start with the incredible value. Here we go. Here he is. All right, you're on mute.
Hey everyone, how's everyone going?
Good,
Can you guys hear me?
good. I can hear you. Hopefully the connection's okay, because a lot of the Zoom calls I've been getting on, everyone has been struggling with the internet connection. So hopefully everyone can hear and see, and everything's going well. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, really, really good. Excited, very excited to be here. Yeah, it's
Awesome.
it's been a beautiful morning. Keen to deliver some massive value.
Good man. For those of you who don't know Koray, I've known him for a while, since we were in the same coaching mastermind group. And this guy works from the heart. This guy loves serving, loves making a difference, and he's one that flows from the inside. He just sticks to what is in flow, and that's a major priority for him. And so that's what. So I was excited to get him on this type of call, because a lot of people have questions about sales, around marketing, all those different aspects that I'm not an expert in. But I love bringing on people who are not only experts in their field, but also who are very, very heart-centered. And that's obviously Koray. So why don't you just give us a bit of an indication on what you've been doing lately in terms of sales, and why this is a huge passion of yours?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's part of it, because I think there's a massive problem with sales. There's so many, there is a stigma with sales, for starters. I used to not like salespeople myself. I used to think salespeople were manipulative, sleazy, using like crazy tactics to like get what they want. And I guess like that as a result of that, I was unable to sell myself when I got into business. So I really struggled. Even if I was coming from a heart-centered place, I really struggled. So I had to kind of overcome a lot of those barriers. And so I was really inspired to turn my biggest weakness into my biggest strength. And so as a natural closer, generally speaking, I had to still overcome a number of psychological barriers and limiting beliefs that were holding me back from really living my I guess my capabilities as they grow on a daily basis. So I guess that was part of why I was really, really, really inspired to get into the space of sales and like specialize in that space. Because as you know, Tyson, I was, coming from where I was a few years ago, where I was in this world of like drugs and depression and extensive negative psychology and being in prison as well, to kind of coming to where I am now, where I'm, able to use this beautiful art of sales to not only like create incredible solutions for people, but it's allowed me to just live a fulfilling life on many, many levels. I sold to my girlfriend in order to make her my partner. Like, you sell yourself everywhere. We negotiate 5 to 7 times every single day, whether it's over social media. You're negotiating with people. You're negotiating with the graphic designer. You're negotiating with your new coach. You're always negotiating with people. And so I think it's incredibly important that as humans, we are given this skill and learn the skill of being able to communicate effectively and to essentially articulate our thoughts without feeling any anxiety or concerns or anything like that. Because right now, people look at me and they probably think I'm like a natural born communicator. And that's true. I've got some natural tendencies, but I had to develop and harness this skill in order to be where I am right now. So, and we're just getting started. So yeah, that's a big, my purpose is essentially now to just help thousands of people. It's essentially develop this skill of, mass communication really, and being able to close sales and close more sales than they ever have, not only in their businesses, but in their whole lives, whether it's with their partner or other people around them.
Yeah. We've got Jennifer who said, I just sold my daughter on making me a coffee. Man, maybe you should jump on instead, Jennifer, instead of Koray, because that's awesome.
What did she say? I missed that.
She said she just sold her daughter into making her a coffee. That's cool. I love that. Yeah. What about if? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. What about you explain a little bit about your recent adventures with who you're working for, your partners, your speaking, all those different things, and give people a bit of a context in terms of what you're doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure we don't have too much time as well. So I mean, with what I'm currently doing, I'm coming from where I was in this space of just, complete negativity, to now having this insane level of confidence where I'm now collaborating with some of the top global speakers and innovators, literally like right now. In fact, the last 2 weeks, probably been the biggest 2 weeks of my entire time in this space. So, you know, I'm working, I'm in collaborations with, you know, speakers like Michael Crossland, who is an incredible person. For those of you that know him, and Brad Lee, one of Grant Cardone's business partners, and Adam Hudson as well, and just a number of other individuals. And we're actually looking at essentially hosting this multi-speaker event, which is really, really exciting. And yeah, I think there's a lot of beautiful things happening right now. So I'm obviously doing my sales training as well. This Thursday, I've got a massive event that I'm speaking to 100 people that are coming to an event of mine. I'm so excited for that. So yeah, I'm just, you know, hustling every day and just continuing on and spreading this mission of love and high energy.
Awesome. Perfect. So let's dive into the content. A lot of people here are super excited. What would you like to start with? What would you like to start with in terms of helping us understand more about transparent selling and being honest, open, vulnerable, whatever it may be, and landing more sales from a heart-based place?
Absolutely. Look, I think the one of the biggest problems that I see in sales is that I honestly wish there was like a degree in sales. I'd go study it for like not just, you know, your own research, but, you know, I think that we need to have more clarity around what people need to do in order to sell more effectively from a heart-centered place. For example, one of the biggest problems that I'm seeing is that people are focusing way too much on the objection handling side, strategies, and all these like different manipulative tactics to close a deal, or to close a sale or whatever. And, you know, I think that we're going to come back to where it really matters most in order to sell from the heart and really effectively and efficiently, which is psychology and the mindset and the psychology around, being an incredible salesperson and, you know, getting your message across in a really powerful way where people essentially will listen and respond to you and they feel that you have the solution for them. So that's really, really what this is all about. So I guess, you know, there's a few things that I was thinking to touch on. First thing, psychology in terms of building an unstoppable mindset.
Hang on, your audio might be a bit choppy. One second. I'm not sure, it might be my audio, but are you guys hearing him okay? Maybe you can type in the chat and see if it's a bit choppy. Yeah, so can you speak again?
Yeah, I think okay,
that's great.
I have no idea what's going on.
That's all good.
I just installed 5G, so I don't know if that's having any impact on the house.
Now we can hear you again. So you're talking mindset. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, mindset is crucial. It's really, really important, and like truthfully, mindset is so important because, you know, when you're having a conversation with someone, if you've got the psychology of like, I just know that what I have, I truly believe that what I have is the solution for this person. Yeah. You will not give up.
Perfect. And so when someone's moving from, we've all learned the sales tactics, right? The sales tactics in terms of manipulation. And it's not necessarily manipulation, but it's using, you know, the fear and the scarcity and the lack sort of mentality. And you can even come from a place of genuine care. But what I found, I started learning a lot of this sort of stuff a couple of years ago when I started making, you know, my first 10K months and things like that. But I found I was getting the wrong people. I found out I was not aligned with who was jumping in my coaching programs, and everything, it was like a downward spiral from that, even though I was making money. And so money was the objective, higher level of, you know, number of clients was the objective. And therefore I wasn't signing up the right people. Yeah. And because it wasn't necessarily, it was still coming from a place of care. But the objective was to have more money and the objective was to have more clients, and everything just fell out of alignment for me. What you're saying here in terms of your mindset is you genuinely know that solution is for them. Is that what you're saying?
Look, I'm going to get really intense now. I feel like as we go through this, I'm going to get more and more intense. I love that.
I'll take a step back.
No, I love that because it's so frustrating seeing people just focus on money. That's all. I see a large proportion of people just focusing on money, and it's really interesting seeing, you know, the way that social media is right now. And like I get it, people are influenced, like money is kind of like what's going around. But the truth is that the best salespeople are not focusing on money. If you want to be in the top 1% of salespeople and produce fantastic results, you don't focus on the money. You focus on providing solutions for people. You're a connector. Whether you're the middleman and you're bringing one party to another party, you're literally creating a solution. Or whether you want to close a deal as a real estate agent, you close a deal you sell someone's house in like 3 hours. I've got a friend, Ned, in Melbourne, who does it. Like, he's got like the fastest house selling record in Australia because he's just obsessed with providing people with like this ultimate service. He sold a house in 6 minutes. I think he signed it within 6 minutes. Like, it's crazy stuff. Craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I think it's insane results. And it's because of his obsession to serve people. It's not because of his obsession to make the commission. Like, money is just pay. It's just energy. It actually doesn't mean shit. Like, like honestly, what matters is how you feel inside. That's what matters. And your ability to serve people. So if you become obsessed with impact and genuinely wanting to provide a service for someone without the expectation of anything in return, like genuinely, you will produce results. And that doesn't mean you don't ask for money, but I believe you should almost want to do that sale without expecting the money because you're that obsessed with helping people. That is how you produce massive results. And that's how you get in front of, you know, new opportunities, bigger people, like all these incredible things that just you start to attract because you're literally not thinking about yourself. Yeah. You're thinking about other people. And that's the biggest problem that people have in business. They're thinking about themselves. And as far as I'm concerned, that's not going to last in the long term. And people start to see it and they catch you out. If you're not obsessed with helping people, like look at you, like Tyson, you're obsessed with helping people. You love it. You breathe it. You sleep it. You dream about it. I know I do too. I'm just obsessed with it. It's got nothing. It's honestly got nothing to do with money. I've operated from a place of wanting to the money side of things, and I've fallen to the ground. And I've operated from a place of serving people, and that's where success comes.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's the biggest takeaway people can have. I know because it got to a point last year. I think it was early last year where I had some clients booked in, and at some point I started feeling like, oh, I hope they cancel. Like, for some reason, I hope they cancel. And that's a huge sign that something wasn't right. But I wasn't having the right clients sign up. And now I wake up and I look at my calendar with the clients in there. I'm like, man, I can't wait to get on that call. Or someone isn't booked in. I'm like, man, do you want to jump on a call 15, 20 minutes? I just love them. I love these people I'm serving. And this is why I've said a lot of the time, the reason why the Facebook group and the community is expanding and doing awesome things is because out of my meditations comes like this creativity and this flow and this wanting to serve. And so everything that you're seeing in the group in terms of what we're doing for collaborating, for contributing to worthy causes around the world, doing these sort of masterminds, doing my coaching on mindset. I mean, all of that's just coming out of flow. It's just coming out of that type of that space. And
you're the master of that.
What advice would you give someone who's sort of catching themselves in that space, being like, okay, this is out of alignment. I'm focusing on the money. I'm focusing on my scarcity. I'm coming from a place of fear. What would be the first steps for them?
I mean, the first thing I want to say, there's never a right answer. There's never one answer that is 100% the answer. Everyone has a different opinion, and that's a fact. We all know that. Everyone has different opinions in life, and there's always going to be different responses to this very question. So I think of two different things. Like, one, I always ask people, like, who are you surrounding yourself around? Like, honestly, who's around you? Do you have any influence at all around you, around money, negative psychology around that? Like, is there any pressure? That actually has an impact on the human psychology. Just not that long ago, when I was running my sales agency, there was a point when I was really operating from this place that was not true to my purpose and who I am and who I wanted to be. So I realized that the people that I was hanging around with were not the right people to be surrounding myself around. So that's one from a personal experience that I can say, right? I don't say anything that I haven't personally done. So on top of that, I think, and I made that change and it was just a game over. I don't have those people in my life anymore who operate from that place. Now, whether it's like about, you know, talking about cars, money, materialistic stuff, like all that, like as soon as you make those changes, you operate from a place of pure purpose, passion, you know, like love and willingness to serve, then you'll have that change. You'll be more inspired to make that change. And so if you're more isolated and you don't really have as much of an influence happening around you, it's more yourself, I'd really just ask yourself great questions. Like ask yourself questions, because self-inquiry leads to self-discovery. And when you discover who you really are, that's when you take action.
Cool. That's awesome. And so many people have a huge takeaway from that. And a lot of people probably are asking themselves on here, then to come from a heart-centered place, to come from a place of passion and service and purpose, what is it that you specifically focus on when you're on the phone? Is there any specific things you do or walk through, or any internal things that you focus on when you're on the phone with someone?
Absolutely. Does everyone here do phone-based selling mainly, or is it in person as well? Just out of curiosity.
Be mostly on phone, but maybe you guys can type in the chat. Do you do sales on the phone or online?
Look, it doesn't really make a difference, to be completely honest. I thought it might help, you know, with just getting some clarity, but yeah.
We got both. We got most people online. Shell's on both. Ronnie's on phone. Vera's mostly phone, but also in person sometimes. Yeah, so it'll mostly be online, but yeah, a lot of them will be phone based, some in person.
So there's some marketers as well who don't even get on the phone, like they just like affiliate, etc., marketing campaigns, all that stuff. It's all the same. ClickFunnels is a psychology. It's one thing I've learned. I've got a funnel right now that's there. It's so direct. I was talking to my Facebook ads guy last night. We were going to be working with each other, and look, I don't want to play any manipulative tactics with my communication, the way that I'm getting people into like some funnel and then getting them to come on to like a call, and then like they find out like all this. I want to be so upfront with people that they just like, whoa, this guy is honest and straight up front. So I'm doing an event this Thursday, right? And this Thursday night, at the very start of the call, they're going to have 100 people there. I'm going to say this to everyone there, because there is an opportunity for people to come work with me at the end of that. And with that, because it's my event, this is how I run it. I'm going to get in and be upfront, tell people exactly how the call is going to go. I'm going to give you massive value. And then at the end, you have the opportunity to apply to be a part of something that I have, that I'm doing. And, you know, if you're successful, great. And if it's not the right fit, that's fine as well. You don't have to, but if you don't like being offered anything at all, then now's the time to leave. So it's like being incredibly transparent with people. That's called transparent selling, authentic selling. You're literally telling people what you're going to do. I wrote my ad copy because no one else is writing it but me. My Facebook ads guy, literally, we're looking at it last night. And he goes, wow, that's so upfront. It says in my ad copy what the price is of what I'm going to be selling like 5 steps later. It says, look, just so you know, it's going to be about this much in like 5 steps later down the track if you were to be interested. So, you know, what's the worst that can happen? What's the best that can happen? If you're interested, great. If you're not, then fine, that's fine. Like in a nice way, piss off, like in a really, really nice way, you know? But it's just like, I'm so honest and direct that people really like that. And that's what it comes down to. So when you're on the phone, bringing this back to everyone here, if you're on the phone or in person or in any kind of marketing, as far as I'm concerned, why don't you be super, super transparent up front? This script that I've got right now, the best script that I've got that I'm using and which one of my clients use and produced $1.1 million cash collected, not deals closed, but cash collected in 3 months, 12 weeks, right? He went from $80,000 a month to about $350,000 to $400,000 a month. Okay, this is massive. So what you do is at the start of your call is you be transparent. You tell them exactly how the call will go. Now, no one does this. This is so unheard of. Not even Sam Ovens, not even Jordan Belfort. People don't do this in phone-based selling. This is so powerful, especially when it's appointment-based selling. So you get on the call and you pretty much tell people, look, here's how the call is going to go. I'm going to ask you some questions and find out about your situation because I'm really, really curious about you. I want to know, can I help you? Can I actually help you? Are you the right fit for me? You're basically telling them, I'm going to ask them some questions. And then at the end, if they're the right fit, then you'll recommend a solution for them. You'll literally, like a doctor, I will recommend a medication or something to you at the end if it is the right fit. And if it's not the right fit, I will be 100% upfront with you. I will be transparent. I'll tell you I can't help you. We'll get off the call. And then you also establish, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure we can all agree that even in relationships, romantic relationships, the reason why relationships fail is because there's a lack of communication, which is why when you establish communication at the start, the quicker, the more successful it's going to be in the long term. Okay. I'm going to give you guys an example about that in a sec with my partner and I, something that we did that changed the game. But anyway, coming back to this, you're pretty much telling them, look, these are my expectations of you. This is what I expect in this call. I respect you. You got to respect me as well. At the end, if you like what I have, then you can say, yes, fantastic. You know, awesome. Let's work with each other. I'm very excited for that. You can say no as well. You're actually telling them you can say no. Like, that's fine. You don't need to feel any pressure at all. I'm not here to like pressure you. But the one thing that I honestly just really don't want to hear, because because I've been doing this for a long time, is something like, you know, I really need to think about it for a number of days. Like, I need to go away for a couple of weeks, and like a lot of objections. And the truth is that it doesn't matter what anyone here thinks, objections are essentially, what is it? What do people think it is? I'd love to just interact with the audience. What are objections?
Well, guys, type in the chat.
Excuses, no, not a good time, fears, amazing. It's a lack of certainty. They don't have a 10 out of 10 certainty that you have what they want. And this is where a lot of people fuck up. I might even get my whiteboard. That's okay. I'll just talk. There's 3 levels of certainty. I think everyone should write this down. There's 3 types of certainty that you must deliver to your customer. The first one is, they must love you as the salesperson, 10 out of 10. When they get on the call with you, they might have a 2 out of 10 certainty or a 6 out of 10 certainty. They might know you a bit better, right? They must love you as the salesperson. That's the first thing. They must love you as the product. They must love your product, whether you're the product or you have a product for them. 10 out of 10 certainty. It's going to be absolutely 100%. Okay. And then the last thing is they got to love the company. So if you're working for someone or if it's for yourself, they got to love it. 10 out of 10. So the objections come up where they don't have that. So when you establish clear communication at the start of the call, what that shows to this individual on a subconscious level, without them even realizing, especially when established effectively, is that they respect you because you are a person of authority. You know what the F you're talking about. You're not here to play games. You're not here to, like, you know, talk about bloody watching Netflix. And I've heard sales calls where people just talk completely like random stuff for a long time. You're there to provide a solution to people, and that's it. That's transparent, effective selling. So, and you've got to have 2 types of, on a high level, you've got to have logical certainty and emotional certainty. 2 different types of certainty, okay? And all of this is pulled from looking at people that are natural closers. Like, what do these, you know, $1 million salespeople do who are beautiful? They're very effective. They're not using bullshit manipulation that I see a lot of sleazy people using. Very different. So that's basically it. You know, basically what I love to teach people, what I'm trying to show everyone, is that you must communicate incredibly well. Incredibly well. That's the secret. As soon as you do that, you won't, you'll get to the end and you won't even have objections. You know, like my last 20 to 25 sales conversations or consultation conversations, whatever you want to call them, I don't really get any objections. I don't really track it anymore, but I just can't really remember effectively when was the last time I did. Okay. And that's the same with the guys that I've taught as well. A lot of them are doing like 10 sales calls and they're closing all 10 in a row. They're not missing any because people are just that gobsmacked by the effectiveness of the way that people are approaching these calls. So that's the secret. That's it. Establish, you know, effectively at the start. And yeah, that's there's a lot of information.
Transparency at the start. Transparency at the start is key. Being honest, right? Being completely honest. And if they have certainty, emotional and logical certainty about who you are, they love you, they love your product, they love your company, that's what's going to get to. And I think what a key piece that might help people here is because the people who are on the phone with you have already gone through a bit of a system to make sure that they're right on the phone. Because if you have so much transparency in your marketing, in your ads, and you say like, this is the price, this is what we're going to go through. And then at the start of the call, you can basically feel the people who are on that call are the best fit that you can figure out in that time. And they're not the people who are around fear and scarcity and lack, because they've already seen the price. They've already seen the upfront transparency of you and what it's all about. So the people who are on the phone are in that space of that they're genuinely the right fit. And so you can give them the opportunity to sign up. You can give them the opportunity to say no without any fear-based tactics. And it's just focused on solution-based, right? It's focused on if this is the right solution for them. Solution-based, right?
I just missed that sentence. If it just cut out for a sec, I had to fix this again. So if it's solution-based, is what you said?
Yeah. So it's mostly because they're on the phone, because they're the right fit, because you're focused on serving, because you're focused on solutions-based, that generally allows that transparency to be there. That generally allows the flow of them loving you, loving your product, loving your company. Is that sort of the feel that you've seen?
I honestly think the biggest problem that people have is that they're thinking about themselves, which is why they struggle to do sales. Yeah. Like literally, people are thinking about what they can get in their hands, what they can get in their pockets. And then that is when problems come up, like fear, anxiety, shit, pressure, a lot of things like that. This is proven. And I've seen this. It's like when you focus on the other person, you're addicted to helping them. You will not give up. You will shock them. You'll gobsmack them. It'll be phenomenal. It'll be so transparent.
Yeah, that's awesome. Here's what I've done, because a lot of people
can feel it. Tyson, you know this as well. For people that are really heart-centered, they can feel it when someone's not authentic and they're full of shit.
Yeah, especially now, the consciousness of the planet's changing. We're heightening our level of consciousness collectively. That's why we can basically feel when someone's coming from a fear-based place or a scarcity-based place, and they're not being real and authentic. And it used to work a lot, like coming from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, like all this stuff really worked. Now that everyone's doing it, our bullshit meters are so fine-tuned, where people can feel if you're coming from a heart-based place. And since I've been studying since I've been meditating 2 hours a day in silence, since I've been studying a lot of ancient wisdom, this is what I wrote down this morning. Literally wrote down this morning. I woke up and I wrote down 2 things on here, up the top here. I wrote down 2 things. It says, whatever you want it more for others than you do for yourself. This comes from Wayne Dyer, who I've been studying a lot of, who lived the Tao Te Ching for a year. That's one thing that came for him. And so whatever you want. So for me, if I want incredible clients, more reach, bigger Facebook group, whatever that may be, want it more for someone else, right? So for Koray, for example, before he came on this call, I was in my meditation and wishing, I'm like, man, I hope we get a really cool crew so we can introduce them to Koray. Not so that I can grow the group and grow my reach and whatever. I want it more for Koray. I came from that level. So I was messaging a lot of you and having you jump on, and we got like 20 people on the call right now, so that I can introduce them to Koray. I want them to fall in love with Koray more than me. And then the second one is don't do it for fame or status, right? Whatever you're doing in life, whatever you're selling, whatever call you're doing, if you're doing it for fame and status, then, and that's what you're visualizing, that's what you're envisioning, you're not in flow with harmony. Because what's flowing through you in terms of your, the energy, in terms of your heart, what your heart's leading to you towards, it's not towards fame. It's not towards status. It's not towards money. That may become a byproduct, right? That may be a byproduct, but do it because it's flowing through you. And this is what you sort of talked about at the start, Koray, when you're sort of saying, do it from your heart-based place of wanting to serve. This is flowing through you. This is what your heart is leading you towards. Do it for that. And the sales and the clients and the business that's aligned will be a byproduct of that. Is there anything you want to add to that?
I mean, I love that. It just goes to show, like, we're both, on par. I love what you said there. Everything you just said there was just magic. But especially like that first part where you said you meditated and you wanted to serve me. And it's funny how that's completely the same over from my end. See, I want to come here and serve everyone here. So it just goes to show the way that Tyson, I'm sure a lot of you here as well, like we're aligned. And so we're not thinking about ourselves. We're literally doing this because we're thinking of other people. You're thinking about myself and obviously your audience getting value. And my mind was obviously in a similar state. So it just goes to show there's just the alignment there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just magic.
And think about it this way, for everyone on here, this is what my days are generally like now. I wake up and I like fucking love it. I'm like, I can catch the patterns of wanting to get a result, and I can meditate, notice it, and allow it to move on. And then my day generally is just having fun because you're having fun when you're in alignment with serving, when you're in alignment with purpose. That's why I even meditated this morning, and I thought, what if I didn't take any personal income for myself for a while, and just focus purely on that income and collaborating with people on contributing to these worthy causes that we're focusing on, right? And making difference around the world. That is a pull for me, and it's not a push. It's not something I'm trying to achieve. It's something it's something that I'm being pulled towards, right? And so I'm thinking, like, what if I just, all the income that I have, obviously I settle my own base and look after myself. I don't need extra stuff. I don't need extra things. I can focus that towards serving, helping, creating a difference, being an impact, being an example, all those different things. And so when you come from this place, throughout your day, you can just be in love with your life because your heart wants to serve. And that's just what I found. Is that what you find as well?
Absolutely. I love that.
Awesome. So when people are on the phone, let's say they're a coach, consultant, they're selling, whether it be a product or selling themselves in terms of a service. When they're on the phone and they're like being transparent straight up, do you still walk through the steps of getting to know them, getting to know the person on the other line? Do you get what's the sort of steps that you sort of follow?
Absolutely. Look, I'll go through the first 20 seconds. I think everyone's going to people get massive value out of this. In fact, if you follow these steps, your whole sales game is going to change, not just in sales, but sales everywhere. As I said, it doesn't matter who you're selling to, but in a business sense, within the first few seconds, you want to be a few things. So I'd write these down if you've got pen and paper. The first thing is you want to be incredibly sharp. That's so crucial. I hear a lot of people like the first second, 2 seconds, when you get on a call with someone and, they're just like, oh, hey, like it's just, they're just not that sharp, You don't get that energy or that hit like that these people know what they're doing. That's crucial. It's like you got a few seconds to establish a number of things, or there's a seriously high chance that you've lost it already. And you've got to almost like prove to the other person for why they should stay with you or why they should work with you, whatever. But if you take control of the situation straight away by being incredibly sharp, for starters, that's going to have a huge impact within the first few seconds, like straight off the bat, That's an absolute, that's crucial. That's a no-brainer. So the next thing is, what you want to do is essentially be an authority, right? Which is linked to being sharp. So what I mean by being an authority, being an expert, when you go speak to a doctor because you're sick, you have like your average doctor who is all right. Like you go talk to them, they're just a bit, hey, like, how you doing? This, like, they don't really sound like they give you advice. They don't really sound like they know what they're talking about. But if you get on the phone with someone who knows exactly what the fuck they're talking about, like literally you get on the phone and they're just they've got this ability to show that they're an expert on a subconscious level. You're going to show that they're going to look up to you. They're going to respect you because we respect school teachers. We respect principals. We respect politicians, even if we don't like some of them. We respect people that have an expertise. So be that person that's an expertise. Know your product. Know your solution very, very well. And that shows strength and commitment and awareness and transparency within that. So that's super, super important. The next thing is obviously just energy in itself. You've got to have this high energy. You've got to be interesting. You've got to be contagious. Even if that's not, if you're introverted or whatever. I've seen people that are introverted, like step into this power and they develop this energy. I hear a lot of people thinking that they don't have energy or they're too quiet, whatever. Like that's BS. Everyone has that potential. I truly believe it. But be yourself at the same time. So I think from that point, what you want to do is simply something like this, right? Hey, Tyson, how you doing today? Something really sharp. Hey, Tyson, how you doing today? Like really inquisitive. How you doing today? How you doing? And just really like actually be interested in them. Don't just pretend to like read a script or whatever. That's another thing that frustrates me. You can tell when someone's just like, oh, I'm just reading a script. Like I've got to do this. This is my job. Like you got to be interested in helping people. It's a no-brainer. That's the first thing. And then you check in on how they're doing. You don't want to begin this 5-minute conversation about their weather, the family, all the different kind of stuff. Okay. Yes, we want to build a bit of a rapport, but the rapport will be essentially carried through the entire conversation when you get into the actual business discussion. So from that point, once you say, how are you doing today? They might say back, how are you doing today? Great, fantastic. Then you'd say, so Tyson, look, how about we just jump straight in? I'm very respectful of your time, and I've got respectful of my time as well. How about we jump straight in and get started? Like, let's get cracking. Let's do this. I'm pumped. Or whatever it is that you might say. And then they'll say, fantastic, great. And then you might say something like, okay, so this is how the call will go. I'm just going to start off by asking you some questions, just like a doctor would, just like a phone salesperson, just like we would in business. I'm going to ask you some questions to find out a little about your situation. And if I can help, then I'll recommend a solution. And if I cannot help, I'll be completely transparent and tell you. And they'll really, really respect that within the first 20 seconds. So, once you've done that, you've actually got it. If you know that you can help them and that you've got a solution for them and you know what their problems are already, you're pretty much setting yourself up for success. And then it's crucial that you sustain this throughout the entire conversation. This is where a lot of people stuff up. They think that the first minute matters the most and then that's it. You've got to carry that energy, authority, sharpness throughout the entire conversation through to the very, very end, all the way to the end. Because, I've been sold to by people that I actually want their help, but they have this almost just a lack of energy, lack of enthusiasm, lack of passion, lack of I can feel that they really want to help. And because I'm so in tune to myself, I can smell these things from a mile away. And I'm sure, Tyson, you get that as well. You understand exactly what I'm talking about. So it's crucial that we carry that transparency and the way that we communicate, we hold ourselves in a way throughout the entire conversation. And we almost respect that person on the other side of the phone and give them the respect that they deserve all the way through to the end and provide them utmost value and support and care. That's it.
Wow. Yeah. And people can feel that within themselves. I mean, think about when you're marketing, when you're doing what you do in business and you can feel it in yourself. When you move from here to here, you can feel when something's not in alignment. You can feel when you're not caring for that person as much, or when you're focusing on yourself, when you're focusing on the outcome, right? Oh, is this person going to buy? Am I going to get enough money? How am I going to pay rent? All those different things, right? You can feel within yourself when it's out of alignment. And you can only do that when you move from your head to your heart. And that's what you're saying. Be conscious of when you flow through the conversation, you need to care for that person. You need to have that energy. You need to have that enthusiasm throughout the call. And I know people who are on sales calls or phone consultations, whatever you want to call it, throughout it, and they're just judging themselves constantly. Oh my God, did I say this right? Did I say that right? Did I do this? Did I do that? Did I, am I in this space of, oh my God, I just messed it up. I said the wrong thing. And whenever I catch myself, I used to catch myself a lot doing that. I know I'm focused on the outcome. I know I'm just there. I'm there to make money. I'm there to sell someone. And it just, when you're in your heart, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel who you are. It doesn't feel aligned. But when you actually care and you're being creative with your solutions for them, you just naturally have that interest, right? You naturally be like, okay, they said this, how can I help them? Like me, I love connecting people. I'm like, oh, who can I connect them with that does this and that? And they're like, oh, I just struggle with this. And I'm like, go talk to Bob, and I'll send them like, what my program isn't for you right now, this for him. And you can connect people, you can be resourceful with solutions. And when you're inquisitive and when you're curious in that way, I find the energy consistently goes throughout the conversation, because it's not about the outcome, it's about helping. Is that what you find as well?
I love that. That's it.
Awesome. So you've got to know about them. You've got to know you're very curious. You've established your energy. Where do you go from there? Where do you go from there in terms of the middle conversation and towards the end when you're starting to find out if it's the right solution for them?
Absolutely. And just on what you said just there around being inquisitive, you got to be very inquisitive. You got to really, really want to know what they're about, what's going on, what's their problem. That's what the best doctors in the world do. I love to always go back to doctors because I feel like it's such a similar situation in the way that they close clients, or if they're a specialist and that you're talking to you about a surgery, whatever, it's very similar. The best phone salespeople do the exact same thing, the same principles. very inquisitive, and you carry that throughout the entire conversation. And I guarantee you're going to have less objections when you get to the end, because people are going to be so, just like that impressed with you. I promise that. This is proven. So in terms of like this, there's obviously a structure around how this call can really be held, depending on the type of sales conversation it is, whether it's appointment based or it's a cold call or whatever. But really, once you the general structure is identifying like what their situation is, getting really clear in it. And then once you kind of get through the middle ground of the conversation, getting more towards the point where you say, okay, cool. Now you kind of gain a commitment from them. So just to make sure, like how committed are you? Scale of 0 to 10. There's a number of questions that you can ask. I don't think we have enough time to go through everything, but you essentially get commitment from them. You know that you can help them. You say, look, based off what I've heard, you basically, revising or you're stating and restating like what they've said to you, and you're just reflecting that back onto them and say, is this what I've heard? So based from what I'm hearing, this is what's going on. This is the current situation. These are the problems that you're having. This is what you want to achieve. These are the challenges you're experiencing. And this is the, whatever it is, right? Does that sound about right? And then they'll say, absolutely, that's it. Or, like, yes, great. So once you're at that point, and I really, wish if I had a few hours with you guys, we'd go through all of this. There's so much, but essentially, but at that point, then you essentially get to the point where you're going to give them your solution. And you basically say, okay, great. So, based off what I've heard, it sounds like you're a great fit. I think that you're a great fit for what I have, and my solution is really going to help you. Like, that's so transparent. There's no bullshit. And you said that at the start, that you would say that as well. So they're already aware of it. They're waiting for it. And the fact that they've gotten through the conversation and you haven't gotten off the phone shows to them on a subconscious level that they actually are potentially a right fit as well, if that makes sense. Because you should get off the effing phone if they're not the right fit. And I see a lot of people kind of hoping, who's done this before? I've done this. You hope that, it might work out. Like, deep in your gut that they're not the right fit. They're not the right client, whether you don't want to work with them or you don't even have the solution for them. But you just go through the conversation anyway. Oh, it's just good practice, or may as well just like suss it out. It might just work out. That's the worst thing ever. And that's the biggest, you don't want to do that. You want to become a master of prospecting, which is this ability to be consciously aware of who's a good fit and who's not a good fit. Because every minute counts. Every hour is valued at a certain price of your time. And that person's too. So yeah, so at that point, they're the right fit, and you tell them you're the right fit. And so this is, would you like me to take you through what this solution looks like? You always ask for permission. Always seek for permission. Never, ever shove something down someone's throat. Always seek for permission and be polite, be transparent, be a beautiful communicator, and they will respect that 10 times more. And then you get to a point where you just go through the solution. You take them through it. Solution-based selling. And again, this is quite an extensive topic I just feel like naturally I just want to talk about it, but I'm just conscious of time. How much time do we have, Tyson?
Yeah, another 10 minutes or so. A few people need to jump off for because they have other commitments and other calls.
Of course.
Like that. But yeah, another 10 minutes will be fine.
So anyway, you focus on this, you deliver the solution, and you focus on a lot of the benefits of the solution, as opposed to, this is a great point, focus on the benefits as opposed to focusing on the features, okay? Less features, more benefits, right? Really emphasize the benefits in a beautiful way, and I really articulate it so that they are aware of how your solution is going to help them. Because the features don't really mean shit, but what matters is the benefits. For them, that really does ultimately matter the most. And then you pretty much get to the end, and by that, we get towards the end of the pitch, and from that point, it's really just closing and sealing the deal. You ask, you tell them the price, and there's a number of things that you could do there, and they will either say yes or no. And if you follow what I said originally at the start, where if you told them, ideally, these are the things that you could say to me at the end, I just want to be fully transparent. They want me to give you objections. They're going to be like, wow, you're right. Like, either I want it or I don't. And if I don't want it, I'm going to tell them, because I feel like I was empowered to tell them that I don't want it. A lot of people are scared and pressured to not say no, honestly, and it's bullshit. But they'll feel empowered to say no, or by that point, most likely it's going to be yes, because otherwise they wouldn't have, you wouldn't be on the phone with them. You must only be on the phone if you know they're going to be a yes. That's another thing I've learned, and that I teach a lot of my sales guys. It's like, you only want to pitch to someone that you know they're going to say yes already.
Jeez,
only
how
want
much
to
of a game
pitch.
changer is that one?
Yeah. You
How much
only
of a
want to
game
pitch to
changer?
someone if you already know deep in your soul that they're going to say yes. There's no risk. Literally, you know they're going to say yes. You know that. You should already know you should already know their financial, like whether they can pay for it. You should already know like a number of things by this point. You don't want to be at this point in the call if you don't know if they can afford it. This is a number of things that are not taught, which is quite disappointing from what I've been taught in the past. But yeah, that's really important that you get to the call, they're qualified, they can afford your service, they want it, and you know that you're pitching to them because they're going to say yes. That's straightforward. Now, unless you're doing like a $2 million pitch to a government or something, which is a lot more complex. When we're phone-based selling, you only want to get to the end if they're going to say yes. And you know, there's going to be limited objections, and they might throw an objection, and that's another whole topic, which again is just I feel like I could just talk all day, but
Yeah, no, this is enough. I mean, to just shift your focus towards heart-based selling, you know, solution-focused selling, and to be coming from that place and having that mindset, like this isn't towards an outcome. This is flowing through me and what I want to and how I want to help, right? And that in and of itself, that reminder, I'm watching a lot of the comments. That reminder in and of itself is a benefit, is a huge takeaway. And I know a lot of there's intricate details in terms of how you can go into the intro and how you ask questions and the close itself and even the lead up to it. This is where you're the expert. How can people find out more about you and what you have coming up to learn more about those details?
Absolutely. I mean, guys, like, you know, you can connect with me on socials. I'm quite chill with that. Just maybe drop me a message because I get a lot of friend requests, and to be completely honest, I don't add most of them. But just send me a message saying, "Hey, you in Tyson's group? Like, it was awesome. I'd love to connect, and I'll definitely add you back." And so I'm sure you can just chuck in I don't know if you guys have my name, but yeah, it's a pretty unique European name.
I'll put in the comments. I'll put a link to your Facebook profile.
Perfect.
So
yeah, and
add Koray.
Yeah, that's really the biggest piece. And for anyone that is, you know, potentially really interested in getting more training and more involved, we are. I'm doing some stuff right now where I'm just operating from a place of giving as much value as possible and not really getting much in return, which I'm just being really transparent, just simply because I just don't really need to or want to. So I am hosting like a 2-day full-on mastermind to literally master the sales and psychology process, which really 80% is the psychology side and communication. So, you know, you guys are more than welcome to raise some interest for that. We are taking applications because we only want to bring in people that are, you know, like really the right fit, like as Tyson, I'm sure you understand. So you're more than welcome to kind of just drop me a message and say you'd like to find out more. And yeah, that's it, guys. Otherwise, I've honestly had so much fun. Like, I'm going to have the best day ever now. I'm really happy. Yeah.
That's cool. And I've having Koray in my network has just been beneficial in and of itself. We get on calls all the time. Like, we don't talk in a couple months. We're like, let's just get on a call because we love each other. And so it's awesome to have, just reach out and send him a message. And
Absolutely.
no doubt the boot camp is so the boot camp is basically you just pouring your heart into this. And then at the end, it's basically seeing if people want to learn more. But judging by what you've done in 60 minutes, it's kind of crazy what can be done in 2 days. But having him as a part of your network and part of your business collab is so beneficial. You know, so beneficial. He's always happy to share some insights and just have a chat and connect you with other people. So it's awesome to do that. And like you said at the start, to surround yourself with those kinds of people is immensely beneficial for your success as well. So is there anything else you want to add for this call to make it complete?
No, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys had a really good session and enjoyed it. I know there was a lot of information and I had to jam pack that into, you know, that's it's full on, but it is what it is. So
awesome. Thanks so much, my friend.
Guys.
That's awesome.
Guys. And thank you, Tyson, organizing us.
You're very welcome, my friend. Awesome to have you here. I'll see you guys in 2 days on the group coaching call. Starts at the same time this one started. I'll see you in there. I'm looking forward to sharing some insights and what I've been doing and everything like that. But Koray, you're an absolute champion. So many
Thank
things.
you. Likewise.
People are just gonna make so much more sales today. It's just gonna be crazy, and they're gonna come from a heart-based place. So it's really, really
One last thing. I'm that addicted to helping everyone. Just one last thing. Hunt. That's honestly nothing wrong with that. One thing I learned is it's okay to hunt. Like if you want to close more sales, I do believe that like it doesn't just arrive to us. We do need a hunt, which can be perceived many ways, but from an authentic place, it's just about really getting out to the people that you want to work with and that want to work with you, and creating those opportunities. And I promise you that you will. It's as simple as that.
Awesome. Koray, thank you so much, my friend. You're a champion. Love it. Thanks so much, guys, for showing up. Thanks so much for your comments and your engagement. I'll see you guys in the group. Take care now, my friend.
See you guys.